Hello there, running-ears. It's Manny again. And before we get into it, because we do have news. Now, granted, guys, we're going to have a lot of news that is going to start dropping because the race season starts in about a week and a half. We're going to have registrations are already done, but we do have to talk about registration. Talk about it in a little bit. But in other words, subscribe to the channel so that way I can keep you guys updated on what's going on. I will try to keep on top of everything. Remember, sometimes I delay stuff so that way I just don't blurt out information without knowing 100% what's going on. But I can give you some ideas of what's going on and kind of look at it, look over stuff. Like I looked over the digital event guide over and over and over. So now I got a better idea, which we're going to go over shortly. So subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the information with people. I know you guys do a great job of that. And please keep asking your question. Comment down below. Reach out on social media. Again, I try to answer every single question that you guys ask. So if I don't, keep asking because you probably missed it. Because I do, if I see it, I'm going to answer it. But without further ado, let's get right to it. So the first one is just a bit of information, and that is that Princess Proof of Time is due September 1st. So this coming Sunday, we need to get that in, especially if you want corral placement. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about corral placement, a lot of misinformation about corral placement. Put it in there so that way you can get a better corral placement if you believe that you deserve that. If not, they will place you probably in a later corral, but it doesn't mean officially they will. So anyways, Proof of Time for Princess is due September 1st, this coming Sunday. So next up, we're going to go over registration. What just happened yesterday? Today is Wednesday, so yesterday was registration. And as if you look at this. Registration is still open. Even the 10K is opening up from time to time. As of this morning, it was officially open. So was the challenge, and so was the half marathon. So what is going on? And if you guys watch this channel, you're going to understand that I basically predicted this. This is going to happen. I thought it was going to stay a little bit longer. The 10K is kind of surprising to me, and I think it will sell out, and it's going to open up on and off. But I also think that the 10 miler is going to take a while. I think that the challenge will sell out a little bit sooner than the 10 miler. The 10 miler might take a while. Why is this happening? So you're going to see a lot of stuff on social media. A lot of people have their own thoughts, their ideas of why this is going on. And I think, seriously, it's a combination of a lot of things. First off, I think that the prices are just going straight up, and so people are trying to see which ones they're going to do. Now, the more popular ones, you have to say, are Marathon Weekend, Princess Weekend, and of course, Wine and Dine, I think in that order, and then all of us, and because of the after party, and then the after party here at Springtime Surprises Splash, which is still not sold out and probably will not sell out. That is at Typhoon Lagoon. So I think that it's not as popular as the other one. I also think, again, the prices keep going up. So all of a sudden, people have to sit there, and people think to themselves that everybody does all the races. That's not true. A lot of people have to decide, should I do this one? Should I do this one? And so they say, you know what? I'm going to do Princess because it's more popular. It's harder to get in. It's more exclusive. And so some people will choose a Springtime Surprise. But I think because it's more exclusive, the other ones are selling out a little bit faster. This one's taking a little bit of time. I also think that theming might have something to do with it. Now, I love the themes, but I have to admit, Big Hero 6 is not this big one that I had to watch or anything. I love the character, and I think it's great that they've added him, but overall, he's just not this big character that everybody wants to see. And again, there can be many other things, just traveling wise. This is the 4th run, so people are already taking time off, so now all of a sudden they don't have the time to go. There's a lot of other things personal wise. If there's a reason that you're not doing it, comment down below. But again, my prediction is going to be that the 10K will sell out, maybe even today, the next couple of days. It will probably open and close. So will the 5K, I think. I think the 10K will open and close a lot more than the 5K will. I think the 10 miler is going to stay open for a while. And by a while, I mean probably a few weeks, maybe even longer. The challenge, I think, will sell out. Give it another week or two. Might even be a little sooner than that, but I think about a week or two is going to be it. And I think that the Splash is not going to sell out. The Yoga is the interesting one because the Yoga has not sold out. not 100% sure. I believe it's gonna sell out just because it is a lot less people going there. So it's not the thousands of runners, it's more in the hundreds. And so I think it will sell out eventually. And but besides that, if you really want to go in, get into these races, then do it as soon as possible. If you want the splash, do it as soon as possible, just to make sure you got your spot. So next up, I promised you, this dropped last week, the digital event guide. I finally was able to start looking at it. I was able to go over it. And so let's go over the digital event guide. So hello there, we're going to go over the digital event guide for the Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon weekend, okay? So what we're going to do is we're looking at the front page of the runDisney.com site. So we're going to click on the events, and we're going to click down to Disneyland Resort California and the Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon. So once we click on there, it's going to say runner information. So right here, it's going to say the official digital event expo and event guide. We're going to click on that, so we're going to be able to see this. So now it brings us to the digital event guide. So this is what we're going to need for this this coming weekend, a week and a half from now. So I like it because they condensed it a lot, and so there's not going to be as much repetitive stuff. So we're going to be able to go over stuff just once. The important things we go over a few times. But let's go ahead and start off with the welcome. So the welcome has a Run Disney itinerary. So Thursday is going to be September 5th at 5 a.m. is the yoga. So so that's going to be on Thursday. Also that day, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. is going to be the Health and Fitness Expo. So Friday, the 5 a.m. is going to be the 5K. Then from noon to 8 is going to be the Health and Fitness Expo. By the way, the Health and Fitness Expo, just in case, and I'll repeat it in a little bit, is going to be at the Disneyland Hotel. Okay? So remember that. That's the Disneyland Hotel. Saturday, September 7th at 5 a.m. is the Halloween 10K. At 9 a.m. is the kids races. And then from 10 to 4 p.m. is the Health and Fitness Expo. Remember, it closes at 4 o'clock. So once it is closed, that's it. So you can't get stuff anymore. Sunday, September 8th at 5 a.m. is the start of the Halloween Half Marathon. So here is just a welcome. So you get the welcome letter. I'm not going to go over every single thing in this guide. I'm just going to go over the important things. I'm going to just, because if not, I'll be reading here for a long time. So here goes the health and safety. So we're going to click on the first box right here, which is the health and safety. So the event alert system, it's 4 tiers: green flag, yellow flag, red flag, black flag. Once we start getting the red flag, the races are probably going to be cut, or they're not going to happen. Now, it being California and been doing this for a while over there, it's probably going to be green flag, at the worst yellow, which means we're going to be running, but they're probably going to have some kind of backup plan if it gets to yellow. Now, the next sentence after this is very, very important, because it says, course may be shortened and no times recorded. For everyone's safety, delaying or canceling the event is at the direction of event manager team. So event management team, I should say. And that is very important, because I've been a part, I was just calculating off the top of my head, over 5 of them that they've at least delayed. I've been to some that they've shortened, that was earlier this year. And I've been at one that was canceled, 2017. They canceled the whole half marathon because of the lightning storms that were hitting. So it can happen. So now, medical support, you will have medical support. I'm not going to read this whole thing. You're going to have medical support throughout the whole course, the start, the finish, throughout the course. You need any help, there's going to be people on bikes. There will always be help around. So if you need anything, just ask for it and stuff. All right, so now it's heat-related tips. It's going to be, stay hydrated. So make sure that you stay hydrated throughout the run. That's going to be one of the important things. And I always tell people this, you should have already started hydrating a long time ago. So don't just start hydrating right now. You should have already been hydrating. But again, if you haven't already, make sure that you're properly hydrated, when you get there. Choose light clothing and costumes for the race to ensure any headwear is breathable and allows heat to escape. So that way you don't keep the heat. So that's it. Be conservative with your pace. So just in case it starts getting a little bit warm for you, just slow down your pace. That's why I tell you to train at 13, 14 minutes. So because if you slow it down too much, then you're behind the 16-minute pace, especially if you're training at 15-minute pace. So
slow down and ask for assistance, and we've already covered that. So let's go to the weekend information, race information. This is the one that they're going to be, they used to have it throughout all of them, and now it's just right here. So pacing requirements. Must maintain a 16-minute mile pace for all participants in the half and the 10K. So just make sure that you do that. Now it says here a training pace of 15 minutes per mile is recommended. Again, I say 13 to 14 minutes just because, again, just a lot of intangibles, including pictures, including wanting to do water stops, wanting to do potty breaks, that kind of stuff. So pace cyclists are going to be on the course. So remember, if you see cyclists and they have red flags up, that's not a good sign. That usually means that they are going to be sweeping people. So when you're out there, be wary about these. Once you see this, just try to get as close. If you still have the energy, get as far away from them as possible. If you can't, then again, you're going to probably be swept. Lost and found. Most clothing items are going to be donated. If you lose a cell phone, earbuds, something like that, earpods, then you're going to be able to go to the information tent and see if they were turned in. If not, they will give you more information of where they could possibly be. If not, they're lost. Gear bag location. So gear bag check-in is available for the 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon. It's different for the 5K because we start within the park, and then the 10K and the half are starting outside. So it's going to be a little bit different. So it's going to be, you're going to be able to see the sign. So it's going to be there. Restrooms. There are going to be restroom porta potties throughout the run. Inside the parks, you can go into the restrooms that are inside the parks if you're inside the parks and we're running. Reminders. All participants must attend the expo the days prior, the day before for sure, so you can pick up your bib. So you need to have a valid ID, the waiver, and a check-in pass to pick up your race bib, okay? These are just little reminders, if you're going to exercise, if you're going to start an exercise program or stuff, so this is something that you should have already done. Remember this. Do not take medical advice from social media. That's something for a medical professional to do, a doctor. And unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you, I can't give you any kind of medical advice. And so remember that if you're wearing costumes, anything that you're carrying with you, they're going to be subject to inspection. So that's for your safety and the safety of everybody around you. And remember, there is a costume guideline down here. So if you want to look at that, I am not an expert in that. I do know that things cannot be sticking out. Anything that looks like, and I believe it's up down here, is anything that looks like a weapon or anything that looks like a weapon is not acceptable. You can have a lightsaber, but it has to be made of certain things, and it can only be up to 3 feet long. It says 36 inches, so 3 feet long. Any children under the age requirement will not be permitted in the start group. So if you go there with your child and they're 9 and you're going to think that, hey, they're going to just let you run with them, they're not going to let either of you two guys run. So please be wary of that. Don't show up with your child because you couldn't get somebody to babysit or to stay with them. I feel for you because I want you to run too, but so again, just make sure that the only ones they're going to allow in there are the ones that have the bibs, and so you're not going to be able to go in there if you don't have a bib. Weekend information, we're going to click back on it. Race photos, this used to be in every single one of them. We're not going to go over this a lot because you're going to be able to see this. So this is going to be probably in the back of your bib. You're going to be able to see it here. There's going to be in a few places and stuff. So all you got to remember is if you're going to take a screenshot of this or at least get this information is these are the numbers. There's going to be 16 numbers. So it's broken down to kids races, 5K, 10K, and the half. So you're going to put in this whenever you're going to go to your photo section to retrieve your photos. Now remember, you either have to pay for them, you have to have an annual pass, you have to have a ticket that has the Genie Plus. That'll get you the photos. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this year, if you just bought the bib, I think that it might be in there. So double check with that one. If not, then you're going to have to go into the other avenues. But it is going to be 16 numbers, and remember this. It's going to be 5X small X's. This is where you put in your bib number. But Manny, mine only has 4. Mine has 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you do is you put a 0 in the front. You're not going to get one with 3. And if you do get one with 3, just put 2 zeros in there. You'll be fine. All right, so let's go to the next one. It's going to be the spectator viewing and unofficial live results. That's going to happen. That's going to go live. I'm not 100% sure. That's going to be something that you're going to be able to click on coming closer to the race for the live results, because you're able to track. They usually have a company that does this. But anyway, so spectator viewing, this is going to be important because people have already been asking about this. For the 5K from 4:30 to 6:15, located near the finish line at Pixar Pier at Disney California Adventure Park. So if you go into the Disneyland Esplanade, that's going to be close to where the gate near World of Disney is in downtown Disney District. You're going to be able to enter during those times, and you're going to be able to go to the back, but you cannot stay in there. So in other words, you can't just stay in there and say, oh, I'm going to stay in the park. You have to have a valid park ticket to go back in. They're going to kick you, they're going to kick you out, and you're going to have to go back in. For the 10K, you're going to be able to cheer, located along Harbor Boulevard, Catella Avenue. We exit, we run down Harbor Boulevard, we take a right on Catella all the way down to the back where Pixar, the Pixar Hotel is, and so that's where you're there. Family reunion area and the Disneyland Esplanade. Half marathon, it's all of the above, but now we also get Angel Stadium parking lot. So they're not. It sounds like they're not going to be able to go inside of Angel Stadium. By the way, we're going to be able to run inside Angel Stadium. I'll go over that when we go over the map. So the pro tips are going to be very easy. Use bright paper for the signs if you want to do that. Know your athlete's pace so that you arrive at the viewing location in time. Identify your athlete by their outfit. Do not hand out any foods or to athletes, foods or drinks to the athletes on the race course. On the other side, do not take any food or drinks from anybody unless you know them and you know that it's planned. Don't do that. You don't know who they are, and most people are going to be fine about it, but you never know if it's going to be one of those people that is malicious or going to give you something that's spiked, and you don't want to do that. So let's go back to weekend information and go on to the next one. Transportation and road closures. This is important because a lot of people were asking, because after runs, especially on Sunday, they want to be able to be picked up to go to the airport because they got to get back. Got to remember that people are flying across the country, so we'll go over that right now. Event parking. Expo parking. It's going to actually start with the Expo parking. It's $10 if you show your check-in pass. So make sure that you do that. And that's at Pixar Pals parking structure. All right. And you enter through Magic Way. And remember, it's only $10 if you show your check-in pass. Okay. And the parking is going to be, these are the times where this one starts. Thursday is at 7:30. It's Thursday the 5th. Friday the 6th is at 8 a.m. And Saturday the 7th is at 8 a.m. also. That's kind of weird that it does. Oh, that's for the Expo. I'm sorry. That's not for the runs. All right, so walking directions from Pixar Pals structure to Disneyland Hotel. I'm not going to go over that because there's going to be a lot of directions. There could be signs, so you're going to see that. Rideshare, utilize the Downtown Disney drop-off location located at on Downtown Drive. It's going to be very easy. The same thing. Then you're going to be able to see the signs to get to the Expo, which is, again, at Disneyland Hotel. Event parking. Standard parking rates apply, which I'm not sure, and I'm not going to click on that little thing. It's going to be between $25 and $35. So just remember that if you're going to be parking 3 days, it could be upwards of $100 that you're going to be paying to park. So just be careful about that. If you do the 4 days with the yoga, it gets even more expensive. So yoga in the 5K 3 a.m. at Mickey and Friends parking structure. 10K kids race in the half marathon is 3 a.m. at the Toy Story parking lot opens. Okay, so that's where you're going to be able to park. There is going to be a shuttle this time for the 10K and for the half. And the shuttles for registered guests at Disneyland Resort hotels will be available from 3:15 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. September 7th and 8th. Please show your Disneyland Resort hotel room key in order to be able to get on there, okay? The shuttle route stops in the following order: Disneyland Hotel, the Grand Californian, East Shuttle area, which I'm not 100% sure where that is, DVC cheering section at Angel Stadium, Sunday only, beginning at 4:30 a.m., and then back to the East Shuttle area, okay? So that says local between the theme parks near Harbor Boulevard. So I think I know where that is. So here are the road closures. So take a look at these. This is going to be for the 10K. For the 5K, there's not going to be anything because we run within the parks. But anything that is solid red is going to be closed. Anything with an arrow, this white arrow, is going to be, that's the way it's going to be going. The traffic is going to be allowed in that area, not the other. And then the places with the little yellow dots is going to be very, very limited. I think that's going to be a place where they're going to block it off, and they're going to let certain people come. So in other words, if you're going to be on these streets, you might be waiting there for a while. So here go the road closures for the half marathon. This is going to be an important one, especially if you want to leave right after the run. So take a look. There's a lot more red area than there is for the 10K, and they're all over the place. So you're going to have to take alternate routes or go to an alternate place to be picked up by Lyft, your taxi, whatever, your Uber, so that way you can get to the airport. But if you're going to be driving or you're going to need some kind of rideshare, then start looking at these so that way you know where to go, so that way you can get there and get there on time, especially if you got a flight to catch. Alrighty, so now we're going to go through refreshments. Refreshments, very easy. Water stations will be available along the 5K and the 10K courses, not horses. For the half marathon, water and Powerade will be available. So post-race nutrition, they usually give us some nutrition. It's going to be right here, water, Powerade, and a nutrition box that may include, and it'll tell you what it includes here. My favorite is honey stinger waffles, and a lot of people like the Alejandro cheese. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is very popular. Food trucks will be available at the family reunion area from 3:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, and it tells you what the Disneyland Hotel exhibit hall concessions are going to be open, and it gives you the hours right there. So that we gone over refreshments. So let's move on to the Health and Fitness Expo. So we're not going to go over the times because that we already went over. So the race bib and shirt pickup, that's going to be in one section, and we're going to see the map coming up over here. So you're going to be able to see that. So you pick up the race bib in one section, and you're going to go to the shirt. You're going to go to a different section to the shirt pickup. Okay. Reminders is to bring a valid photo ID, digitally signed waiver, and the check-in pass to pick up your race bib. Guests cannot pick up race bibs for any other runner unless they're a minor. So I know a lot of people ask, hey, can I pick it up for my wife, for my husband, for my, and for another adult, my friend? You cannot. You can go to emergency pickup, which is going to be in the information tent, and see if you got any luck with that. It's not a for sure thing. So don't think that you're going to be able to get it for sure, but it is something that you can fall back on to see if they can give that to you then. So it's going to give you the race bib pickup locations, where we're seeing a little bit participant race shirts and gear bag location. It's a little bit different. So the merchandise. So that's in the green right here. Run Disney merchandise shop. Virtual queue is required for the Run Disney merchandise shop on the first day of the Run Disney Health and Fitness Expo, and implemented as needed for the remaining Expo days. So the virtual queue is going to be needed for the first day, and it doesn't say here, but I did see it on another page. It opens up at 7 a.m., okay? And I thought I saw it on the other page, and I'm about to go over this, but I thought it was up to 6 total people, but this one says up to 4. At 6:55, you're going to be able to get on there and start looking at it, start clicking on it. So you're going to be able to know if it's just 4 or if you can go all the way to 6. But the more you add, it might drop you, so just be wary of that. So just make sure that you do that, know that. Now, again, it also says it may be needed for the remaining Expo days. So in other words, if it gets packed again, they might switch it back to a virtual queue, might hold it back, so you're going to be able to you're going to be able to get in the virtual queue and then wait in line. So the additional information is Gold and Platinum Club Run Disney members do not need to join the virtual queue to access a yearly shopping window during the first day of the Expo. And it says right here, up to 4 people in a group can join the virtual queue. 1 QR code will be sent, and 4 people can go in with that. So you may hold virtual queues for your boarding group to go the boarding group to go into the merchandise shop, and you might you can get one also for rides, which I think the only ride right now is doing it is a Haunted Mansion early. It's the same time as this one is, so you're gonna have to click over and try to get that one right away, and you might not be able to get it. So just FYI. So this is the first level or the upper level. So there's a map of that, and this is where you do the the bib pickup. I'm trying to say that real fast. So this is the upper level. You see that on the right-hand corner. Club Run Disney Platinum headquarters. You're going to see where the race bib pickup is. The kids race is a 10K, the half, 5K. On the other side is a challenge. The athletes with disabilities, count services, runner relations, and so you see the entrance and stuff, so forth and so on. Now this is going to be on the lower level, and this is if you walk in, I'm picturing myself walking in, and it's on the right hand side, so it's going to be where the virtual queue, the purple area is. You're going to walk in there, and you're going to be able to go into the merchandise booth, and then there's to the left of that is the pre-purchase merchandise pickup. Then you're going to see the green area, the bluish greenish area on the bottom. That's going to be all the expo. Those are going to be the exhibitors, the sponsors. To the left, they're going to have a little bit more of those, and then you're going to have your race shirt pickup over there. So it's not, you don't have to walk as far as you do for Disney World, but you do have to walk a little bit. And so, but it's once you get there, you'll see it's not that hard, and they have signs for everybody. Now they do have pictures. I'm going to just while I'm scrolling down, I'm going to tell you they do have pictures just like they do at Disney World. So if you want to take pictures, that's where they're going to be out in that area. So be prepared. Yoga. These are going to be very simple. I've never done the yoga. I would love to one of these days. I think it would be cool. I like the way Goofy looks in this picture, by the way. So 3 a.m. is when you start parking. At 3:30 is at 3:30. Security checkpoint open. At 3:45 is a check-in. At 4:45 check-in closes. At 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. you do your yoga. Your check-in location is going to be the ticket booth number 5. Between 3:45 to 4:45 a.m. You have to have your ID, your check-in pass, your digital waiver, and it's going to be there in between. It's very easy, in between Disneyland and Disney California Adventures. If you've never been there, which I'm going to guess that some of you have never been in there, it's very easy. You're just going to look at one park on one side and the other park on the other side. It's not like Disney World where you have to take a shuttle. They're right next to each other. And in between they have all the ticket boxes. The box office is for the ticket booths. And you're just going to go to, and they're numbered, so ticket booth number 5. So then it's going to say park access. You need to have a ticket to enter weekend events. We're going to go back, and this is a cool part. We're going to go to 5K, and the 5K doesn't really have anything except the start times. And so when it opens up, security checkpoint opens up at 3:30. At the staging area, corrals open up at 4. The race starts at 5. It's going to be very quick. By 5:15 at the 5K, everybody is going to be starting. Is it exact? No, it might be a little bit later, but it's going to be more or less. Earlier this year, we started a little bit later. I don't remember why, but this is what it is. So if you look at this, I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. You start right in front of the castle, at a Sleeping Beauty's castle. You run outside. We're in the parks the whole time, really. And you run. It looks like on the outside, but you run inside. You're going to run by Galaxy's Edge. They reopened that area too, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, we're not going to run over there. I don't. It looks like we're not going to run by the Haunted Mansion, and then that's mile marker 2, and then all the way across to Disney California Adventure, and we finish off at in the Pixar Pier area, and you see the hydration stops. There seems to only be one at close to mile marker 2. Okay, so let's go over now to the 10K. So the 10K, and you're going to see race starts at Disney Way. So it's in the parking structure, and we could see this in the map over here. 3 a.m. the parking lot opens. 3:30 the checkpoint opens up. Security. Security, again, I always tell people get there a little bit early because the security isn't as efficient as it is at Disney World, especially if you haven't done any race. At 3:30 a.m. family reunion area, and the corrals open up, so we're going to go in there. DJ, so forth and so on. It's going to be there. 5 a.m. the race starts, and at 5:25 the start line closes. So again, they're going to run everybody, so it's not going to be exact. They might go on a little bit further. So in other words, if you're in the last corral, they're not going to cut you off. If it's 5:27 and you still haven't started, you're still going to be able to start. So the runs is mainly, we're going to look at this. So you start outside the park to the right of this map. You're going to go down Harbor and take a ride on Catella, go into where the Pixar Hotel is. That's going to be about mile marker 1. Then you go into the parks, and you basically run all the way in and out of the parks until you're mile marker 5. Then you exit and you run outside, and you go back to where we start, and that's where you finish off. Okay, and again, it does have water stations here, A, B, C. So it looks like 3 water stations, a couple of medical tents. So we have that. And now let's go to the half marathon, and it's going to be exciting because they changed it a little bit. So Halloween half marathon. So this is I'm gonna get this one up a little bit. So it's basically the same thing as a 10K. Where everything starts. Now you notice the 5:35 a.m. start line closes. Again, it's not exact. I think last time we went all the way to like 5:45, 5:50, just because it was a little bit of a delay. So it's not exact, but you can tell that they're trying to get people out as soon as possible. Because we are running on the streets, they try to get people out as quickly as possible, so that way we don't have to. We don't have to. What's it called? We don't have to put. The traffic can move a lot faster. Let's just put it that way. So start is going to be the same way, and we're going to run a lot of the basic things that we ran in the 10K, except we exit a little bit earlier. So by mile marker 5, we're already out. We're almost out at the other one. So we're going to run down Ball Road. We're going to take a right onto Anaheim Boulevard, left on Cerritos, another left on Lewis. We're just going to keep doing this kind of pattern all the way to Santa Ana River Trail. We run down this like river trail. It's actually, it depends on how it is, because if it gets a little bit windy, there's a lot of dust out there, so that just be prepared for that. And then we get to run right before we finish in mile marker 11. We're at Angel Stadium. Now it's a cool thing if you ever want to, if you've never done it before. We actually run inside of Angel Stadium. We enter in one side, we exit through the other side. So what I would really suggest to you guys, if they still do what they used to do, is you can see yourself running on the Jumbotron. Now again, because I run with my GoPro, I am going to be moving it around, so I will record some of the people running in the Jumbotron, so you might be able to see yourself. But that's a really, really cool thing. We run down Gene Autry Way all the way back, and we finish off right where we started. And this is for the half marathon. So that's it. Kids races. These are really, really cool if you guys haven't been to them. I think that they're very cute is the best way of saying it. So again, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but you can see the times. They basically start at about 8:30 and they go all the way till about 10:30. So a couple of hours and you're done. And this is on the Saturday. What's cool is they have 0 to 1, the diaper dash, 1 to 3, the 100-meter dash, which is real cool. You can run with your children, by the way. 4 to 6 is the 200-meter dash, and 7 to 9 is a 300-meter dash. Now, here's the only thing I read, and I thought this was funny. Parents are allowed to run with their children, but only registered children will receive their finisher medal. Parents, make sure that you understand this. Don't be over there arguing and saying you want somebody else's medal. I'm pretty sure that's going to be very rare. I hope it's never happens, but just in case. All right, so you're going to see here this whole area where the starts and then the finish area, spectators, they got food trucks, so forth and so on. It's going to be very self-explanatory, and it's at that parking structure where we start. Anyways, so then the next one is going to be just a downtown Disney district. This is going to be, I'm not going to go over all of this, but it's going to give you everything that has if you have your bib or something, your medal or something, and you can show it to them, some of these places will give you some discounts. So Wetzel's Pretzels seem to be the biggest one at 20%. But at the very bottom, if you're looking at something early, you could see that John Bell opens up early, Starbucks, Beignet Express, Splitsville Luxury Lanes, not till 8, but 8 to 10:30. But a couple of them open up very, very early. So just to take a look at that. We're going back to weekend information, and now it's just the Digital Expo. So actually, and before I do that, this is the featured charity. So this is what the featured charity looks like. It's the Anaheim Community Foundation. If you want to read more about it, it's right there. Now the next one is going to just be the expo. So AT&T Bauduco. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Disney Vacation Club, Echelon Fitness, Enterprise, Fresh Point, Hog, Honey Stinger, Halloween, which is Hulu, Mission, so Race to Save for Saving, something like that, Sports Beans, Fond Memories Graphics. So this is if you want to get your medals put up, so forth. They do a good job. Now, this one wasn't here when I looked at it earlier, but they just added Jeff Galloway is going to be there. So you can click on every single one of them, just like I just clicked on Jeff Galloway, and you can see all his information. So here he does have a lot of stuff here. Jeff is a great guy. He's going to be there at the expo. I always suggest going by there and saying hi to Jeff. He's a cancer survivor. I'm sorry, he's a heart attack survivor, I should say. And he's a great guy, very inspirational. He's probably going to do the 5K with us. I don't know if he'd do the 10K with us, but he's probably going to do the 5K with us. So just look for him. If I click on Digital Expo, it's going to give me the Digital Expo. Let me make sure. I just thought I did. Okay, here it is. Digital Expo gives me exactly what I just saw. So that's it. So remember, you can click on any of those to see. And that's basically it. So if you want to see this, the only thing that I saw I could think of that was missing was what time we had to be in the corrals, because they're usually a cutoff time. But we do know this. We do know that there's basically a cutoff time. So it's going to be 5:15 for the 5K, 5:25 for the 10K, and 5:35 for the half marathon. So we know if we don't get there by that time, that once they've all gone, you can get there 10 minutes later, and they're not going to let you run. I mean, they may let you run. I just wouldn't count on it. But that's it. Looking over the Digital Event Expo. Have any questions?
So I like the fact that it was more compact. So in other words, it didn't repeat the stuff. So when you clicked on the 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon, and even for the marathon weekend, the marathon, it was the same repetitive stuff over and over and over. But they were missing a few things. So number one that somebody pointed out is they really didn't have a good picture of the staging area, so where the entrances were going to be. There's going to be two different entrances if you saw that in the kids run. That was probably the closest that we got into that, because people are asking about security. And yes, there will be security there. My suggestion, and I said it, I think I said it during that little presentation, but I'll say it again, is try to get there as early as possible, because you don't know how bad security was, or can be, I should say. Earlier in January, it got backed up. It got really, really backed up at one point, and this was during the 10K. They did a better job for the half marathon, and I hope that they do a good job. But just to make sure, get there as early as possible so you can get through security and get to the staging area. Again, runners are the only ones that can advance into the corrals, so just be wary of that also. They also just basically generally said about the check-in pass. The check-in pass, usually we get it Monday, the week of the run. So this coming Monday, you should be able to check your email, have access to it. If not, just log into your account. Just go into the runDisney at the very, if I'm looking at the screen, it's going to be at the right hand. You click down bar, and it's going to say manage account. Log in there, go to your run. It should have a blue bar that says click here, check-in pass, whatever it is. Click on it. You can get a screenshot or you can print it out, but you should be able to get that. If you do not get it, no worries. Just make sure you have your ID when you get to the run. There will have a place where you can put in the information or print it out, and you can go get your bib. The next thing was they did not say in the digital event guide what time you get your virtual queue. So if, the one thing that I did, I looked it over. There was another section that I saw it, and it's at 7 a.m. So if I were you, the day before I start looking at it, if you do not see it, that's not a big issue. Just get up the day of. So the day of the expo, get up a little bit earlier and start looking at it. Now, again, I saw conflicting reports. One of them said you can get up to 4 people. So it's just going to ask you, it's going to be in your account and you can pick up to 4 people. And another one said up to 6. So I think it's going to be 4. And so you're going to be able to put 4 people on there. If you have more than 4 people, obviously you have more than one app. So go ahead and get on the second app so you can get the last 2 or 3. If you get different callback groups, just when you get there, let them know you're together. Maybe they can fix it. I don't know. But there's something that you can do so that way you guys can go in together. But it should be 7 a.m. 7 a.m. is when you're supposed to be able to check in. I would check that morning, the night before, and I would check the morning, and it's going to tell you there right away when you can check in. And the last thing that they didn't really cover, which I think they should, because this is going to be the next race where you can get your coast-to-coast medals. A lot of people have forgotten about that. They're not really even talking about it. And so yes, you can get your coast-to-coast medals. There is a tab on the runDisney.com page where you can see Coast to Coast and you can see if you qualify. When you get your check-in pass, there will be a section that says Coast to Coast, and it'll say eligible or not eligible. Now, I'm supposed to be eligible, so I should have an eligible one. You're going to go get a band. They're going to give you a band. So make sure that you have that band. Yes, it's a little bit of a nuisance because you get it on Thursday or Friday or even Saturday, and then you're going to have to keep it until Sunday. For people like me, us mere mortals, we're going to get it on Thursday, and we're going to have to keep it all the way until Sunday. So we also had some preview for some merchandise that dropped for the Disneyland Halloween run. So let's take a look at that. So we have this combo picture of the jacket, the Spirit jersey, and a hoodie. This is actually pretty cool. They actually even have the lounge fly. We have a couple of shirts right here, and so you can see these. We got the Mickey ears right here. This is going to be the front and the back. I think actually they look pretty cool. We have a Magic Key shirt. I like the Magic Key shirts from earlier this year a little bit more, but here's a little bit more of that jacket. The running is in my bones. This is actually a really cool one. Again, this is shirts, the back of the shirts. I like these. So what did you guys think about that? I liked some of them. Some of them I could skip on. It's actually funny because I just became Magic Key holder, and it looked like the Disneyland in January had a lot of cooler stuff for Magic Keys. You know, but remember this. Whatever they show us, they're probably going to have some extra stuff on there. I'm not sure they're going to have the generic Coast to Coast stuff. If they're going to have anything that's just generic Run Disney, they probably will have some of that. But go in there understanding that this is not exactly what they're going to have. They might have some more stuff. And so that way, you know, you have an opportunity to purchase other stuff such as more pins, just on down the line. But what did you guys think about the merchandise? Well, that's it for this video. Now, the next video I'm going to have, I'm thinking about doing this because I am actually flying to Disney World to do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween on Monday. Then I will fly to Disneyland and should do Oogie Boogie on Tuesday. So I'm going to do them back-to-back nights. Hopefully everything works out fine and I get there in time. If I do, I'm probably going to record a little bit just to see the differences, just to see which one's better. Maybe in future years, if you guys want to know which one would be better. So I'm going to do maybe a quick a recap video of both of them to see what my thoughts were, and maybe any kind of things that stood out. But with that said, I will be at Disneyland starting next Tuesday. So I'll be walking around the parks. If you guys see me, please come up and say hello. And of course, I'm going to start recording the expo, the 5K, the 10K, and the half. Please come and say hello. The channel exists because of you guys. This is your channel. Because of you guys, it keeps growing. I got a couple of things on the horizon that I'll talk about probably when I get back. And without further delay, create a magical day, create a magical run, and guys, see you sooner than later.